They're my CD.
Okay. There you go. I'm gonna need you to.
Oh. Are you gonna record it on there?
Yeah, can you see my photo?
No, I'll just type up the conversation. Huh? I'll just try to type up. That's what I do.
Hey.
Oh, okay.
Alrighty. Alright, sorry for some technical difficulties, you guys. I just wanted to start this off by saying you guys are here for a focus group for the Amazon Kindle. It's an e-reader device, but I just wanted to start off with a little bit of an icebreaker. If we could all go around and just say our name, your major, and what your classification is, like freshman, sophomore, junior.
My name is Anne. I'm a senior in my studies journalism.
I'm Tasia, or Tess, you can call me, and I'm double majoring in petroleum engineering and business, and I'm classified as a junior, senior.
I'm Grant. I'm an advertising major, and I'm a freshman.
I'm Courtney. I'm a PR major. I'm a freshman.
I'm Laura. I'm a biology major at junior.
I'm Bobby. I'm RTF and PR, and I'm sophomore, junior.
I'm Christine. I'm a bio major, and I'm a senior.
Awesome. And just so everybody knows, my name is Patrick, and I am a junior advertising Hispanic linguistics major. But I just wanted to thank you guys again for coming out today. It really means a lot, and everything that we get from this focus group will be really valuable in everything that we do. But I just wanted to start everything off by we're going to play a word association game. So basically, I'm going to say a word, and I want you guys to just, as you feel free, to just tell me what those words make you think of. So if I were to say apple, you could say healthy, or just think of things like that. So the first thing I want to start off with is the word textbook. School.
Extensive.
Expensive. Homework. Any other thoughts?
Heavy.
Heavy. Would you say it's positive, negative?
Negative.
Okay. The word reading.
Time.
Time.
Book.
Book. Happy, negative, neutral.
Can be fun depending on what you're reading.
Can be fun depending on what you're reading.
Yeah.
Neutral. Kind of like a neutral zone for everybody. What about just the word book? Boring.
I feel like genre, like fantasy and fiction's like fun.
Okay, so you
And
start
more
thinking
novel.
genres, novels.
I feel like it's lighter than a textbook.
Lighter than
Yeah.
textbook. So more. What else can you?
What's that word for you can move it easily?
Portable.
Yeah, portable.
Any other thoughts about that word book? No. What about the word homework?
Stress.
Be ruthless.
Time
Procrastination.
Procrastination. Time consuming.
Tedious.
Tedious.
Hassle.
A hassle.
Time consuming.
Time consuming. Any other thoughts? Negative, positive.
Negative.
Negative. The word e-reader. What comes to mind?
New.
Electronic, new. What'd you say?
Online.
Online.
Simple.
Simple. Any other ideas?
Light.
Light. Alright. What about the word Amazon?
Shopping.
Shopping.
Online shopping.
Online shopping.
E-commerce.
Marketplace. E-commerce. Cheaper.
Sales, yeah.
Bidding.
Sales. Bidding.
Used.
Used.
But in a good way.
Used in a good way.
Rainforest.
Rainforest, yeah. That's a good one. No, hey, if that's what you think of, shoot it out. Just say positive, negative,
Positive.
confused, positive. The word Kindle. If I were to I'm just saying to you the word Kindle. What do you think of?
Brand name.
Brand name?
Candle.
Yeah.
Candle.
Yeah.
Not too weird. Books.
Books. You think of books.
I think of like Fire Kindle, or something like
Fire Kindle, yeah. Any other thoughts? When you hear the word Kindle, do you have happy thoughts, neutral thoughts, negative thoughts?
Fuzzy warm feeling.
Fuzzy warm
I
feeling.
think of the commercial. They're like commercials.
Think of the
That's
commercial.
what I always think.
It's a cute word.
Cute word. Okay. Good. That is it for our word association. I want to move on just to a couple of open-ended questions. So feel free. We're going to let this go where it goes. But I just wanted to start off asking you guys a little bit about textbooks. How do you guys feel about the process of purchasing textbooks today?
It's really annoying and stressful because
Really?
sometimes you don't. Yeah.
Why?
Because sometimes you don't always know if your textbook is necessary or not. Like
Okay.
I've purchased textbooks that I actually didn't need, and then I've also bought them online, and I couldn't like get them returned in time when I
Okay.
needed to. So it's just kind of it's not like user friendly.
I feel like definitely with some like specific majors, you have to buy the textbook like the professor wrote. It's like find it from like past students, and I feel like it should be more like broad.
Okay.
Like one textbook for like that
That entire subject.
kind. Well, not like because there's different fields, but definitely not like I wrote this book. You have to get this book, this edition. There's 14 editions. Just,
Yeah. What about other thoughts? Just the general process. This can go from like looking for your textbooks all the way to like actually swiping your card or giving them cash. How do you guys feel about that entire process?
I always feel like I'm getting gypped, especially like here at the co-op. Like I feel like there's Monopoly and you have to buy there for some certain books and it's expensive. Especially when they tailor it for class, it's more expensive. And then I feel like when you return them, it's even you're getting more gypped because they don't give you anything. Not to be bitter, but
No, that's definitely something we want to hear.
And there's always long lines trying to buy books or resell them.
I definitely know this year I bought like 3 books, but they were just like pages. They weren't like binded or anything. It was like whole, so I had to like go find binders and separate all that stuff. And I just think if I'm gonna pay that money, I should get.
A book.
Yeah,
And can you even resell those?
I don't think so.
I think I did.
Really?
I did.
Like the paper, just like the sleeve.
Yeah.
Any other thoughts about just the general process? No. What about hunting for like finding your books? How do you guys feel about that process for textbooks?
I didn't have any trouble this year,
No trouble?
but I didn't buy that many.
Do you think it's pretty easy, pretty difficult? How would you say?
Well, if you go online, all you have to do is just search it, and then if you go to like co-op, there's plenty of people there, like their online resources where they have their inventory that you can just ask and they
With the ISBN.
Yeah,
over here,
definitely.
sad.
Yeah, it's easy to find a textbook, but it's harder to find a cheap textbook. Like, it was really hard for me because I tried to find stuff on Amazon and like other bookstores, and a lot of times they didn't have it by like the name of my book, or they didn't have the edition. So that's harder. But
Yeah.
if you just want to go to the co-op, it's really easy.
Does anybody here currently share a textbook with anybody? No,
I have before.
you have before. Would anyone here not consider it or consider sharing a textbook? Can you tell me why? You
Like
would
we like right off the same computer, like online.
right off the same computer for the textbook.
Just
Would you guys consider like jointly purchasing a textbook with your friends and using that to share costs?
It depends on what class and where they live and
Yeah.
stuff like that. If it's a roommate that's in the same class, that might be better.
Any other thoughts? Would you ever consider sharing?
I have done it before.
You've done it before. Was it a good experience? Bad experience?
It had to be someone I trusted because it really took my name and password too.
Oh, okay, so it's an electronic textbook. Gotcha.
If it was like a actual textbook, I probably wouldn't. But if it's online, I would consider that.
And for the textbooks that you guys do purchase, how important is it for you to keep your textbooks after the class is over?
I like to.
You like to keep them? Why do you like to keep them?
Future information.
Future
Yeah.
information?
I feel like for science classes, since you're a biology major, usually I like to keep it because a lot of times it builds off of it. But for a lot of classes,
Yeah,
you don't
usually
need
no,
to.
Core classes.
Yeah.
Like the core classes? You
Yeah,
think it helps?
for instance, business, you have to take one marketing, one accounting, all that stuff. I'm not going to need to refer that in the future, so.
Yeah, that's okay. Makes sense. Any other thoughts about, what about for those of you that would never keep a textbook? Or any thoughts why?
use the money.
You could use
More
the
than
money
I use
to sell it back.
Like that I read like 1 hour.
The co-op major from the like you like this.
Or if it doesn't like apply to what you want to do, then
Yeah. There's some like at the freshman, just like all the basic classes, like it like just goes on.
Yeah. That's good info. The other thing, how for the textbooks that you guys do have, how important is it that they're portable? Do you think it's do you do you lean more towards lightweight editions or like do you like having the hardcovers? Like which do you think it's important to have a portable textbook that you can carry around? Definitely.
I would rather everything be online.
Everything be online.
Like I have a class that is just all in the library, like student reserves,
Okay.
and it's like super easy. I don't have to like carry around any textbook.
I agree with that, but I also don't agree because a lot of times I like underlining, and that's the way I study, and you can't really underline. And I don't like looking at a computer screen a lot, so that's kind of the downside.
Yeah. What about like just general portability? Like, do you think it's important to have a textbook when you guys go to class or when you're trying to study?
Never have my textbook in class. I don't really
Yeah, I
like
don't
that.
bring it to class, but
I don't
then when I
work,
study.
Yeah, when I study.
not for class, but like I guess in between classes, if you want to like use your time well and like study for your book or like catch up on something in between classes.
Okay. That sounds like good stuff. How important is it for you guys in general just to have a physical textbook? I know that lots of us here have had e-textbooks and as well as physical textbooks. How important is it having both of those experiences to have a physical textbook? Do you think it matters or does it make a big difference having that physical book?
I think you just have to differentiate between like what study method you want to use. If you have like a physical book, you can do like the highlighting, underlining. If you have like an online textbook, you can take notes on your computer or by hand. So either way is fine, but for certain classes I like to have like a physical one that I can, look at, and I think it's easier to read.
Yeah, I feel like there's pros and cons because like if your internet crashes, then what do you do? I mean, I've never really had to use e-books, so I wouldn't really know. But like, or then like the thing is like I typically have my laptop more than I would have my computer or my a book. So if there's pros and cons to each.
I think I prefer like a physical textbook. I actually like to read like novels for fun on my iPhone.
Okay. So like leisure reading you
Yeah.
prefer to do on like an electronic device? Okay. I know that you guys are saying like it matters for certain classes. Is there a type of class where it matters that you really need a certain type of field where you think like I need a physical textbook, or for this class I'd rather have a digital textbook for a certain kind of class? I can range from anything like I need it for biology and a physical textbook, or if it's not my core class, what kind of class do you think?
Well, I know for sure. I don't know if this helps you at all, but for business law, most of those tests are open book, so you need your book there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a category.
Yeah, no.
Really,
That's
but-
definitely good things to have. Like so, classes that might have like an open book policy for their exams, like you would want to have an actual textbook versus like an e-textbook.
Right.
Okay. What about any other thoughts about that? Like specific classes that you might want it for?
For advertising 318J right now, they recommend or in the SI sessions, they always recommend like the process of reading. You like read your book and highlight, and then you go back. So it's really important to have the book instead of just like online.
Yeah.
For Spanish, I wouldn't care. I would just do it online because it's more just information. So you have to really do a lot of memorization. Well, yeah, you do, but different memorization.
I'm really familiar with the textbook. Can you highlight online or something? Is there any sort of highlighting function?
It depends on your computer that you're using.
Mhm.
Some PDF viewers, Adobe Acrobat allows you to highlight text,
Oh,
and you can highlight it.
Mhm. So you actually download a file? Is that how it works? So it's not online on a website or anything?
It depends on
The
who
type,
you're
okay.
coming from, and cause some professors host their files for free. Others you can buy a textbook and you view it online without a PDF. It's just only on that website. So depends. So looking.
I actually have one more thing
Yeah, no,
about
no,
that. I was just thinking about this now, that if it's a math course or some sort of physics or something, it would be harder to have notes online because you have to be able to write out those symbols, and it would be hard to kind of type those. So I'd rather have a book or some sort of notes,
Yeah,
written
no,
out.
now looking at all the textbooks in general, how do you guys see any inconveniences with textbooks today? Just in general, from the process to having them, using them, their content, etc. You guys see any problems with textbooks today?
I think that a big problem is how when they change editions and it's really a few changes and it really doesn't make much of an effect, and you have to pay for that.
Mhm.
It's more like a, making money scheme, I think. So that's, I guess, the main issue.
What about other thoughts about just general textbooks?
I hate carrying multiple textbooks
Yeah.
around.
You hate carrying multiples. That's annoying.
Yeah, I almost do like the loose leaf ones though, because you can take what chapter you need,
Okay.
and that's a lot better than having the whole textbook with you all the time.
Yeah.
And so, I guess portability is an issue.
Portability of it all. Would having a digital version of a textbook that you could carry around help alleviate the additions issue and the portability issue, do you guys think? Would that be something that would interest people if you guys here, or would it not be something that you kind of be like, well, whatever?
So are you eating both? Is that what you're saying? Are you saying that there's both?
Huh? Saying both.
Well, what?
Would having a digital version of your textbook that was portable,
Like on your computer?
on your computer or on like a mobile device, do you think that would help out with the portability of your textbook? Or do you guys think it would make a big difference to you? Personally, because I mean, if having a physical textbook is really important, then having that digital version might not be that important to you guys.
Yeah, having a digital. I guess as long as I have what I need out of the book on my computer. I carry my computer around like every day at school.
Okay.
And I know it's hard to like look and see what classes you have and like realize you take like 3 books to school and you just grab your computer.
Yeah. I just wanted to transition a little bit into asking you about how you guys take notes in class. How many of you guys use your laptops to take notes in class? Kind of the majority, not really. How many do you guys use both?
Yeah.
Who uses a mix? Does everybody here use a mix, basically?
I never use my laptop.
You never use your laptop?
Mhm.
Why never?
A lot of times I have to bring my books, and so
Okay.
it's too heavy to bring my laptop to class.
Okay.
All of my classes, you're not allowed to use laptops, actually.
Okay.
So that's why.
Yeah, no, that's definitely a good point to make. For those of you that take notes on your laptop, do you think it's what things do you find why do you do it in some classes and not in others?
For me, I'm taking art history 305 and it's like super easy to have, and I just bring my laptop because I don't like because it's in the morning and I'm not gonna read them afterwards because that's super easy. But classes that I like need to know, like need to pay attention, I did not take my handwriting because I learned better.
Okay. So you guys, what about other thoughts?
If it's like a class where it's very detail oriented and extensive, then I think taking notes on the computer definitely helps. For classes like, to give an example, advertising 318J, you're supposed to write down like everything, and then for MIS, I could care less, so I write whatever in my notebook, and maybe if it's less detail oriented, you can just do your notebook.
Okay.
Mine's kind of the total opposite. In classes I don't really have to pay attention, I can just let my mind wander kind of on my laptop. But in classes where teachers like will have PowerPoints and they'll just give you like this like overflow of information that you should write down. That's when I use my notebook because I feel like you can just concentrate a lot better when you're writing rather than when you're like distracted by all these other things on the computer.
I always use my laptop for all my classes, especially this semester, and I find that helpful for me to actually stay focused in class because I can spend more time on actually like writing down what he's saying and not worrying about my handwriting. Because most of the times I'm in a hurry, like writing down what he's saying. But every time I see it, I can't read it.
Thoughts?
And I guess what I was saying before, if I were able to use laptops, I definitely wouldn't take notes in a physics or a math-based class because you can't write the symbols down
Okay.
on laptop anyway, so I'd do handwritten notes in that. So I'd be more lenient to do laptop for something where the teacher's speaking.
Yeah.
You're just,
Especially now, you can just like record it on like Microsoft Word, and I can do it on mine, so I can record it and then like take really like lazy notes.
Yeah.
And just hear it later.
Really a good point to make. So I asked you about general textbooks and about your studying habits. I want to ask you guys just a bit about your reading habits. So how often do you guys read for leisure and pleasure?
Only on breaks.
Yeah, only
on
That's the only
breaks.
time I
I
have
have
time.
time.
No time otherwise?
yeah.
I got one book done this semester, and just like I pretty much read throughout the whole semester, so I was just setting time aside, but rarely ever for other reading.
Rarely ever. Are there any people in here that are like, I have to read at least one pleasure book a semester, or like that you're always reading?
I wish I could.
You wish you could
I like to read on like the ride. Bus ride.
on the bus ride home. Okay. Does that you usually read on your iPhone? Is what you're saying? Okay, yeah. How about for academics? Do you guys read a lot for academics?
A
or-
lot. Yeah.
A lot. So those textbooks definitely get put to use.
Mm-hmm.
What about other textbooks that you guys buy and then neglect? You're like, I don't know why I bought this.
Definitely.
Yeah. What are you guys' thoughts about those classes once you buy those textbooks? Do you think like, what do you think that having that textbook is a waste, or do you think that it's kind of do you think that it's just nice to have it there and just in case, or do you kind of have this resenting feeling towards
I
it?
waited like the first week of school. I didn't buy any books until like the second or third week of school. And 2 of my classes I realized that I really wouldn't need the book like after the first test. And I didn't buy them, and all my friends like hadn't touched it. So like teachers tell you to buy like this edition their book.
Awesome. So for those of how many hours a week do you guys think you spend reading for academics? And how many different books? It can be like a ballpark, like under 20,
Yeah.
under 20, under 10,
Over 20 for me.
over 20. So it's kind of varying, it seems. Over 20, under 20, under 10. Is there anybody that's under 10?
Yeah, I'm
Under 10? Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that's just this semester. Usually it's not that much, but this semester is ridiculous.
Yeah. But it can be really varying.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think that the amount you have to read plays into the amount of textbooks you have, or do you think it's just certain subjects get reading heavy?
It's definitely certain subjects, because I'm in
Okay.
a sociology and that's really reading, and LED has this huge book and you have to read it. So I feel like other math classes, though, you don't really need to read the book, though. So it depends on the classes.
Awesome. So I want to ask you guys about e-readers. So who here has heard of what an e-reader is? Who here has no idea what I mean when I say e-reader? And don't feel bashful if you don't know. It's fine. If I say e-reader, if you're like, what the hell is that? So 2 people.
I mean, I guess I could guess at it.
Yeah.
I've
You
never
guess
heard
at
of
it? You never heard of one? Has anybody here ever used an e-reader? No. Anyone?
Does your iPhone count?
The
as an
iPhone can count as an e-reader.
e-reader? Then, yeah.
You've used an e-reader.
From a class we got to use like iPad, Kindle, just for the class.
Mhm.
But I guess I never.
I want to run through what some of the e-readers that are out there right now. There's the iPad that's out, that's really popular that everybody knows. There's the Nook from Barnes & Noble, and another big one is the Amazon Kindle. So those are the 3 e-readers that are kind of dominating the market right now. But since no one in here owns an e-reader, how willing would you guys ever be? Would you guys ever be willing to use an e-reader?
Yeah.
Yeah. Is there anybody here that would be kind of hesitant towards using one? Would anybody in here be hesitant, or you kind of welcome it with open arms and I'm gonna use it?
I mean, I'm not gonna rush out and buy one, but like if I won one or something, I'm definitely.
So if
I
you
don't like need.
if it was there but you don't see a need for it,
Yeah.
why don't you guys see a need for it?
Well, like my mom, for example, was like, I want a Kindle. And I was like, okay. And then she's like, but I like hardback books. I like keeping my books, blah, blah, blah. And I'm just like, well, then I'm not going to buy you a Kindle if, like, you don't want to. And because she's just, like, purchasing books and, like, taking a big bunch of books and having that credit to buy more used books, you know? So she, like, doesn't want to have to already, like, put books on it that she already owns or something like that. So.
Definitely, yeah. I sell my books back to them.
So I don't see a need for it for reading books, but like I want an iPad to read magazines, like
To read
articles and
magazines?
newspaper articles, because there's a lot of different publications and it's a hassle to like follow like every article in different websites. But using their apps, I think it'll be a lot easier for me to just access their
access.
articles. So
Yeah, definitely.
for that need.
Absolutely. Were you gonna say something?
I said that sounded nice, what she's saying. I think for other, like, just reading books, I like to have the hardback copy. And there's other things I'd rather buy than buy an iPad or whatever.
I think for me, I'd want to try it before, because I know I have all these fears, but I've never used it, so I'm open to trying it, and I wouldn't go out and buy one unless I see, because I know I have some friends that didn't really want it, but they want it in something, and they ended up loving it and can't live without it now. So, I mean, if I tried it, then I'd see whether it's a necessity or not.
Yeah, definitely. Has anybody here ever played around with either with the iPad in the Apple Store, the Nook at Barnes and Noble? Has anybody, if you can you raise your hand if you've ever used one or just fooled around with one? How would you guys describe that experience? How would you? Was it? Like, were you frustrated? Did it not work the way you wanted it to? Was it kind of just cool and that was it?
The iPad's beautiful.
Yeah,
Like,
it was cool. Yeah.
I was playing with friends the other day, and it's just like a big, touchable screen. You know,
Yeah.
it's just so fun because it's so massive, and
And the graphics are really
Yeah.
nice. Yeah.
it's just it's easy to do. I think.
Yeah.
Especially if you're familiar with Mac products. Like,
Yeah.
let's put it that way.
Okay. So it's like something for Mac people.
Definitely.
What about, has anybody here ever used a Kindle or Nook?
I was really surprised by Kindle because it was so old-fashioned.
So old fashioned?
Yeah, I thought it was compared to iPad
Yeah, no,
because
why would
it's
you say
in
that?
black and white. So I guess they were going for the feel of having like a book,
Mhm.
classical that feeling or whatever. But I was so turned off by it that like especially for me because I want to read articles and stuff.
Mhm.
I want pictures, I want graphics. So I don't think I would ever use a Kindle for my purpose of reading articles.
So would you guys say that like having pictures and like dynamic text and stuff is like an important part? If you're gonna have like an e-reader, you would want to have like a lot of dynamism to like whatever it is.
Doesn't the Kindle have like isn't there the commercial where there's like the iPad versus the Kindle and there's like light, there's like outside in the sun, like, and isn't like the Kindle supposed to be
It's not like
Yeah,
a computer
have
screen. It's like
have y'all seen it? It's like
Yeah.
because when you're outside with your laptop and like it's really sunny, it's like hard to really see what you're reading. But isn't the Kindle supposed to? I don't know.
The Kindle doesn't use a glass screen,
Mhm.
so it's an e-ink. It's their trademarked reading technology, so you can read it in the sun. So it's like a piece of paper.
I think so.
So would that not hurt your eyes as much, like looking at it?
It doesn't hurt your eyes. So it's kind of if you were to think of like Etch-a-Sketch kind of thing, but it's not even that. It's all electronic, but it doesn't hurt your eyes, so there's no eye strain. More than so you guys, but you said that it was kind of just this archaic,
Yeah.
just like it felt old style, old fashioned.
So I guess if you want to read books like wherever you go without having to carry the books, I think it's really suitable for that purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So they don't have any pictures or anything?
No, currently, no, there's black and white like two-grained images, like, so you can read the New York Times and stuff. So like those type of pictures.
So I mean, since we're talking a lot about textbooks and Kindle, is textbooks on Kindle right now?
Right now there are textbooks on Kindle, but I want to like I want to get to that in just a second. But thank you for bringing that up, because that's where we're going. I wanted to ask you, like, if you guys were to ever purchase an e-reader such as the Kindle or the iPad or the Nook, like, what would be your key determining factor? Like, what would be like the biggest sell? Like, all these three things came to you today and said, buy me, buy me, buy me. What would be like your I need this out of the gate?
it's like the majority of the textbooks were on, like just on this little
Mm-hmm.
thing to carry around. I would definitely consider getting it.
I care about cost.
You care about the cost
Like how much it would cost to get textbooks on there.
on there. Okay. What about other factors?
I think another thing that's cool about the iPad is that it's kind of like a little computer, so you have a lot more than just reading on it. I don't really know much about the Kindle, so I don't know if it's just reading textbooks,
Okay.
but that'd be cool.
Yeah. So you think it's important to have like multi-features and multi-functionality? Yeah.
Because I think a lot about the iPad that's appealing to people is all the stuff it does, not necessarily reading. It's not really known for reading books.
That's understandable. Do you guys see any inconveniences with using an e-reader at all for anything?
Well, if you like damage it and you're done, if you look at just a book, it's like $10-$15, but that's a lot, and you have to replace it.
So like not being able to like back up purchases and stuff like that.
Well, I know with like books and stuff, like I just throw them away. It's fine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
It's
just
like
definitely.
So it's not as sturdy.
right. That's user
What other inconveniences? The battery. Just like so, like there's like
That's
the
true.
limited lifespan to your book.
Definitely.
That's kind of a deterrent. Yeah. What other thoughts? Do you see any other inconveniences? Otherwise, finding D&D. How would you guys describe somebody that would use an e-reader? What kind of person do you think uses an e-reader?
Progressive, forward, modern.
Progressive, forward, and modern. Those are some big words.
I know a lot of like older, like,
Older
elderly people.
Elderly.
Well, like people at my church, but they, it's easier for them to carry it and read instead of having these like.
People who are well off too, because like I mean, like a lot of us said, like money's an issue, so it feels like it's gonna be able to be like durable that we can like have for a while. People who have a lot of money don't really know what to do with it. Can just be like, oh yeah, look, let's buy this new.
I feel like it's more for older people too, because like I said, textbooks is pretty much what we read right now, and we want to be able to underline it and stuff. But I feel like older people just read a book for fun on that, and so they could just read it and don't really, they don't have to have it, you know, in person. So.
Other thoughts? Anybody else? Would you guys have different thoughts about like who is using e-reader?
I think it's definitely a luxury item.
Luxury item.
It's not necessary for. I don't know if it's actually going to be cheaper in the long term to have it. So like, is it always Kindle? Like, is it?
The Kindle range for books usually is between $10 and $15.
So it's similar to. So yeah, I think it's definitely doable. So I would think that person's probably good.
And
I think it's a luxury item.
back in my high school, we had teachers. Oh, like most of the teachers had Kindle or e-reader, and they would have all their textbooks on there that they taught on. And they would just use that in the front. And that's like definitely easy if you have multiple books at one time. Like I know me, like I probably wouldn't be able to read more than 1 or 2 books at a time. Like I feel like I read like 4 or 5, but I had to stick with that one book, and I could just definitely carry that one book instead of.
Now, I was asking about e-readers in general, and that can range from things like the iPad to things like the Kindle, which obviously have very different functionalities. How would you guys describe somebody that uses the Kindle?
Like they're definitely more. They have a very more like specific purpose for it. It's not like the iPad where you want to do like have all these different functions. It's just like specifically for reading material and reading. That's it.
Like kind of like for the reading purist.
Someone who wants to be enlightened and entertained.
A bookie.
A bookie?
A bookie.
What else? What kind of age do you think that person would be?
I know my cousin, she's like 17. They read, her family, they read all the time, and they watch TV a lot too. So I guess but they do read a lot, and she has a Kindle and she reads out of it. Maybe, yeah, that's it.
I don't know. What about other thoughts? Any other? You guys think that person would still be wealthy, kind of a luxury item type of person?
I think it's also like a techie person too.
A
though,
techie
like,
person?
like who wants like technology.
Yeah.
Either you're a really big book fan or you're maybe a technology fan. Or,
Do you think that it has an age for the user? Do you think it's something that's too old or too young for someone?
I mean, it could obviously be people pick that one. I think that's
Yeah.
definitely. But to be too young.
Can you
I feel like my
enlarge the
grandma would
text?
not be able to use
Yeah.
it. I don't know if my grandma can.
And I know like my little cousins would do so. Definitely like high school.
So like getting into being adult to
Yeah.
any adult age.
I feel like older people could be able to use it just because if you can enlarge text and they'd be able to read it opposed to an actual book, they might.
and for like younger kids, that might be a good way for them to like be interested in reading too. It's more like fun, like have it on the thing. So even though it's more for older people, I could see it in the future going more being geared towards younger people.
Yeah.
Maybe that would get them to read more.
Yeah.
I have a question. I don't know if this happens, but is there a function that you can click on a word and it tells you a definition or anything?
On the Amazon Kindle.
Yeah.
No.
Okay. That'd be cool.
There's no definition.
Wait, it does have a dictionary.
It has a dictionary, but you can't highlight.
Yeah, you can.
Oh, you just look up that. Well, that's
So you have a
convenient.
dictionary. So you can type it in. You can like copy the word and then go and paste it. But there's no like instantaneous
yeah.
and it'll tell you what it says. So how would you guys ever consider using the Kindle for your textbook readings? No, definitely.
If
But
it doesn't
why
have
no?
graphics.
Just because of the graphics, you need the pictures and things to see. Like for what bio class.
Mhm.
So it's important to have like that dynamics.
I would say for like a class that you don't need that, I would be fine with that.
Yeah.
What would be nice if it had like a highlighting feature,
Mhm.
and then I'd be so
You like
sold.
saved it.
Yeah. I mean, if I already had one, I would, but
You wouldn't.
I feel like in the long run, you wouldn't really be saving that much. Like, I feel like your time and your, I don't know. I just feel like you wouldn't really be saving that much because you have to buy a Kindle, then you have to like get all your books on it too. So like, I feel like in the long run, you're not really. But it's still convenient, money wise.
Aren't online books a lot cheaper than actual books?
They usually tend to be about 40 to 50%.
Yeah. So I feel like you could save a lot of money. Yeah.
Would you guys consider buying an Amazon Kindle for your textbook reasons though, and then having to purchase a textbook like that, like the online textbooks that are for your Kindle?
I think I'd rather have that than actual computer screen or an iPad, like I said, because reading that for a long time just makes my eyes hurt.
Okay.
And I feel like if I had that, I know when I'm trying to read and Facebook is on.
Mm-hmm.
If I had like a book like meant just for reading, like the Kindle,
Mm-hmm.
then just like
Read it.
Mm-hmm.
pay more attention.
What other thoughts?
Textbook is overrated. And the layout of Kindle, I think it's just so much harder for me to read because it's so.
I think it'll make it harder.
Yeah, so because it's like I don't know, so it looks boring, like it's just black and white and like no graphic, no colors. So I don't think
You don't think you would buy it for textbook reading? But for those of you that would buy it, you were saying that you would buy it just because it would make it simpler, or simplify it, or why would
It would just
The portability of it.
just
Yeah.
affordability?
like
Okay.
all in one kind of thing.
Yeah, because I really like the idea of ebooks, but the only thing that was drawing me back is the highlighting thing and the hardness of reading. But the Kindle fixes one of the problems, so if it's a highlighting thing, then I'm sold.
I wanted to ask you guys just about general online shopping. How do you guys feel when you make online purchases for anything?
I definitely like to go to the store.
You like to
too.
go
I
to the store?
hardly make online purchases.
I've never made it.
Never made an online purchase. Why do you like going to the store instead of online shopping?
Because it's immediate. You just like get what you want and you take it with you.
Is that immediate gratification?
I definitely, because I don't know. I'm just completely not sold on buying and then waiting and I don't know. Because there's problems I think.
I'd be more open to buying something like textbooks. I mean, clothes I definitely couldn't buy just because I wouldn't be able to try it on and look. But the one drawback about textbooks is, yeah, it takes a long time, and if you don't need it, then you have to be able to go through the hassle of returning it and all that stuff. So it's just kind of.
What about other thoughts?
I like online shopping.
You like online
I
shopping?
do. I do. I think there's a lot more variety, and you don't like. Also, you don't also have to deal with like the hassle, like being in stores, like being around a lot of people, a lot of clutter, a lot of noise. Like my parents hate going to Urban Outfitters. They would rather like go anywhere else. They just can't stand it. It gets loud. It gets just like an overflow of people. But online, you don't have a problem. You don't have people. You don't have like that customer service experience either. Like whether it's bad or good, it's just kind of your own something.
What about making purchases on Amazon's website? How do you guys usually feel about that when you make purchases? Never made a purchase? How many here have made a purchase on Amazon before? Whether it be for yourself or for somebody else?
I've made a purchase, but I had returned it. So
Why'd
that
you
was
return it?
very. It's because it was for the only book I've ever found for a class. I purchased it, and then I ended up switching out of the class, so I had to return it. But I did think it was very easy how they put all the prices there, and I really like the idea of it. But I just haven't found any of the books that I'm looking for.
Gotcha. What about everybody else? What did you guys usually buy on Amazon?
Textbooks.
Textbooks?
I bought textbooks. My sister-in-law bought me
My mom bought like for Christmas last year. She bought like I think a video camera or something like that. for
How
me.
would you guys describe, like, was it a good experience using Amazon?
It was fun. It was fun.
Good experience. What about their book selection in general? Do you think that would you say that they have a really good book selection and a mediocre? Do you think that you can get things better at regular bookstores, or do you think Amazon kind of has what you need?
Amazon pretty much has everything.
I think for general books it does, but for textbooks it was a little more limited since I haven't really any of mine. So.
A little more limited for textbooks.
Mm-hmm.
I like how they have the different degrees that you use, like really good, you can like kind of weigh if it's not important to you. Okay, well, maybe I'll just get the very good instead of like the excellent condition. So that's kind of, for the books I've looked for, they have a lot of price range, which is nice.
Would you guys ever consider purchasing ebooks through Amazon? Whether that be for an e-reader or just like doing it on the computer? You guys
Yeah, it
consider
depends on the price.
Depends on the price. So pretty much contingent on the price. I wanted to ask you guys just one thing. When did you guys before, well, as we've been talking about this, do you guys associate the Kindle with Amazon or vice versa? Do you guys kind of see? You do. Would you have before this focus group? If I were to have shown you a Kindle, would you have said, "Oh, that's Amazon's product"?
Yeah.
No. Yes. So it's kind of mixed. So there's just a general consensus about that. I wanted to ask you guys, if I were to have a Kindle for each of you right now, would there be a reason that you guys wouldn't use it? No. Do you guys think that you would use it a lot, a little bit, sometimes here and there, a lot? Would there be anyone here that would just kind of leave it in the box and say, I don't need it? You don't think you would? That's absolutely fine.
I don't think
You don't think you would use it? What feature out of a Kindle would you want to have the most? Portability. So it's that simple portability that you can take it anywhere.
And sorry, the readability as well.
The readability
Yeah,
of it.
just doesn't hurt your eyes as much.
Okay. So just the fact that you're able to take it anywhere and you can read it anywhere.
Minimal clutter.
Yeah.
And my last little bit, who here owns or has used a smartphone before? That's a phone that has internet capabilities. So if you can get on the internet. Have you guys heard? Has everybody here heard of the Amazon Kindle app? Has anybody here not heard of it? Not heard of it. Would you guys ever consider using an Amazon Kindle app to read on your mobile phone or a mobile device?
Is that only for iPhone?
It's currently out for Android and iPhone.
Yes.
Then I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. If you had those phones, would you consider using it to read on a mobile?
If it was for BlackBerry, I'd use it.
I feel like if I had an
I
iPhone,
think-
I would use it.
Yeah.
If you had the iPhone,
Is
you
it
would use it.
just-
Obviously, you use it, but not necessarily mobile app.
Is it just for reading books? Is that the
You can read
sole-
books and articles, whatever you can download through the mobile app.
Because I know I use right now just iBook for like the iPhone applications. I don't know if I would use.
You don't know if you would use it,
Yeah.
just because iBook is kind of
It's right
dead.
there.
Is there anybody that would not use it, period, even if they had the iPhone or a similar mobile device? No? Do you guys think you'd encounter any problems with using a mobile app on your phone?
I think if I had to choose, I would choose like having the Kindle itself.
Having a Kindle, why?
I don't know. I like something separate. I've got like all my books on my phone, and it's bigger screen.
Yeah.
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 It wouldn't. It's less memory on your phone. It was like spacey things
Yeah.
to do.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that goes back to the whole like it hurts your eyes to read off of an iPhone, so the Kindle has that.
Well, the screen's so small too. It's
Yeah.
not, it's not really like ideal reading.
Mm-hmm.
It's just the small screen size.
Mhm.
What about you? Doesn't bother you? You like having it right there. Definitely good. So my last activity for you guys, we've talked about the your textbook purchases. We talked about the way those make you feel. I've asked you guys about reading and what you guys think readers are like. I've asked you guys about e-readers and the Kindle in specific. And I've asked you guys about just making purchases on Amazon and finally like mobile applications. But I wanted you guys to let your artistic licenses run free and draw for us what you think and a person who uses the e-reader is like. So it can be a stick figure. Go all out if you want to draw. If you want to be an artist and draw everything, go for it. But once you draw these, if you could write 4 to 5 adjectives just to describe that person, whether it's like old, young, witty, stupid, whatever you want to, however you want to describe them, just write those around the person, and they can. And feel free to use your creativity and as much result as you want. So there's markers, there's pens and pencils, so feel free to go hog wild and help yourself to chips and shirts and stuff like that. So, and please write your name on it. Because we're gonna talk about them after we're done. So. Don't worry.
Oh, not sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Do you mind passing this?
And here's markers. If you want the marker.
Oh, we need the drawing.
Yeah, we get to keep the drawing, so don't worry.
Good.
It's a vital part of our project.
You guys have 3 minutes, so
Oh, great.
don't be. Yeah, include their age in there too as well. Like what kind of age you think they might be.
Should we write our names on it?
Yeah,
Yes.
right. An e-reader, any type of
Mine's
e-reader.
probably not as detailed.
And then if you have like when you have an e-reader, if you want to say like they're
so,
going
like,
to use
just in
e-reader
case.
versus another, then feel free to write that.
I just try to do it.
Like so, any e-reader, like just an
Just the Kindle.
e-reader.
Yeah.
Yeah, just
I
like
mean,
Kindle. Just
all
like
of them
Kindle.
pass to e-reader.
Really? I think mine was Kindle.
Pretty sure we did Kindle.
Last two are e-readers.
Was it yours? Just Kindle?
An e-reader user. Four to 5.
I think this isn't like one word adjectives. Cause it'd be
No. Feel free. I'm wrapping up in the next 2 minutes. Okay, 1 minute. couple months. We want to start on this side and just go around. If you can tell us a little bit about your person, and we'll go around the whole room.
My person is
Can you hold up your drawing, please?
it's a male. He's 30-something years old, and I wrote modern, tech savvy, and then he's wealthy, or more wealthy.
This is where broadcast careers go to die. Check it out. I make it fun. I invented a little game.
Tonight's lotto numbers are 19.
Age you moved to New York after a photographer discovered you at a food court and said he'd get you in Vogue magazine.
53.
Number of semi-nude pictures